Well, that didn't take too long. President Trump has now come out against the Mueller report. Now, in a series of tweets, he referred to the report that he recently referred to as a complete and total exoneration as now total BS. Yeah, you guy's a very stable genius, right? Now, let me give you the tweets here. He said, statements are made about me by certain people in the crazy Mueller report, in itself written by 18 angry Democrat Trump haters. No, first of all, a lot of the people that wrote it were Republicans. A lot of people in the FBI are Republicans. But he continues, he said, these are fabricated and totally untrue. Watch out for people that take so-called notes when the notes never existed until needed. People are taking notes. They're taking notes. What do I do? What do I do? Oh, my God. Now, the notes he's talking about are a nod towards a session of the Mueller report in which his former lawyer, Don McGahn, had told the special counsel that the president got mad at him for taking notes during a meeting. He said, quote, "What about these notes? Why do you take notes? Lawyers don't take notes. I never had a lawyer who took notes. I've had a lot of great lawyers, like Roy Cohn. He did not take notes." Are you kidding me? Really? Lawyers do take notes. If you're a good lawyer, then yeah, you will take notes on certain things that require you to take notes. Now, if you're doing something that maybe you shouldn't be doing, then it might be a good idea to not take notes. But hey, the Mueller report is both BS, now according to Trump, and a total exoneration. No collusion, no obstruction. That same report, by the way, had this gem of a quote from Trump. He said, "Oh my God, this is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm effed." Now, again, no collusion. Collusion was not actually mentioned in this report at all. Actually, they talked about criminal conspiracy, in which they didn't find enough evidence on Donald Trump to prove criminal conspiracy in the Mueller report. So, look, he's melting down. He's having a meltdown. Again, I knew he was going to have a meltdown. He switched his position like he always does. Because, look, the Bill Barr memo was so super nice to him, right? And so it's like, oh, President Trump didn't do anything wrong. And here's my 4-page summary of a 448-page report that makes it sound fantastic for the president. Now the real thing comes out. Well, at least with, obviously a lot of heavy redaction, but it's filled with stuff that is not necessarily great for the president. For example, they found, 10 counts of obstruction, or possible obstruction. It could have been many, many more had this Trump staff not ignored his illegal orders, which a lot of them did. Now, the report overall makes Trump look really, really bad. It shows him as a corrupt individual who doesn't care about the law, who continuously tried to flout the law, and is basically a pathological liar. And that, of course, he surrounds himself with like-minded people, as evidenced by William Barr in that shameful press conference that we saw yesterday, that made him sound more like Trump's personal lawyer than the Attorney General. Now, the notes that McGahn had taken should be the least of his problems. And look, just like the Clinton emails, and I think this is the closest thing to kind of compare it to, because the Clinton emails, while not showing anything necessarily criminal, right, did show that Hillary Clinton was a terrible person, and deeply corrupt, part of the system. It shows Donald Trump in a lot of negative ways, right? But also there is possible crimes, and that's, of course, the obstruction of justice, which Bill Barr, by the way, refused to do anything about, and now it's basically been punted to Congress. But Donald Trump, I think, is a criminal. I think he is a criminal. I think he's done things that are criminal, that are against the law. And so, unfortunately, he's not going to get in trouble for any of this stuff. The only question, of course, is when are we going to start holding people like Trump accountable for their lies and for their criminal activities? Apparently not in this Congress. Apparently not with Nancy Pelosi or Steny Hoyer or any of those Democrats. Now, there are some House Democrats. AOC just signed on to impeachment. She's interested in impeaching the president. And then you also have Ilhan Omar, made famous, of course, by not only her, win, being one of the first Muslim women in Congress, but also by saying impeach the MFer when it comes to President Trump. They're signing on to it, but as usual, when it comes to actually being bold and progressive, they are in the minority, and yet you have, of course, a lot of Democrats that are super, super scared, super afraid. So I think the answer on that question of, if anybody's going to be held accountable in the Trump family remains to be seen. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.